I booked over 100 sales calls last month just by using one extremely simple script. Because cold email doesn't have to be this crazy complicated thing, but to be honest, most people end up finding someone on LinkedIn using some crazy workflow and they think they need to spend hours building the exact same thing just to book calls. However, in my experience, it's actually been the complete opposite because I've tested hundreds of scripts over the course of the years with all of my clients, and the ones that are actually the least complicated end up performing better than the rest. No crazy AI workflows, literally just the basics. All right, so in this video, we're gonna cover why this script performs so well, a few live examples, and then how to customize it specifically for your offer. But first, you need to understand why most outreach flops in the first place. And the reason is that it literally looks like cold outreach. Prospects see the quick question subject line or all of the numbers being thrown everywhere, and they know that they're being pitched. So what they do is they end up marking it as spam before they even get through it. And I think that's why this script in particular performs so well. It breaks through all of the noise and all of the typical like ChatGPT generated garbage, the guarantees that sound too good to be true, and it literally just ends up looking like a text coming from a friend. So let me show you a little bit more about what I mean. Most scripts follow something along the lines of one, like the half-ass relevance line, two, the offer line babbling about your solution. It's all me with zero flow at all from that relevance line. Three, it jumps into social proof that seems way too good to be true. And to be honest, in most cases is a one-off result that isn't really replicable. And then lastly, it jumps into a CTA immediately pushing for a call before you've provided any sort of value or authority or trust or anything like that. And what this ends up looking like is something like the below. So, hey, first name, found company name while looking through e-commerce brands that offer apparel. We build personalized ad growth ecosystems that take your ROAS from blah, 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 blah. As you can hear, like I'm already out of breath reading this, and that's exactly what's going through the reader's mind as well. Sure, it's structurally sound. It covers every single aspect of a good email. You have every single piece in there, but it's just too much. It's completely focusing on yourself and not the reader. And to be honest, like all of the additional fluff and stuff like that just doesn't help your case at all. You're always going to be competing for attention real estate. So the faster that you can jump in and say your spiel, get that point across to the reader, the better off you're going to be. In my opinion, it's fine to lead with an offer, especially if it's value-based or something that the prospect wants. But generally, I would just go with a bit of a different approach. So what that looks like for myself is generally something along the lines of this. First name, again, getting straight to the point. Value-based offer, so exactly what is in it for the reader. Then risk reversal, making it easy, yes. And soft CTA, again, easy, yes. That PS line is the most read line in an email. So use your relevant social proof. And then my little twist on this is without pain point. So we helped so-and-so accomplish this without having to deal with something that they don't like doing. The reason why this works is it gets straight to the point. It's less than 50 words. It makes the whole email about the reader, and it provides almost zero reason to say no. And obviously, if you don't want to learn how to do this all for yourself, you can book a call in the first link in the description, and I'll see if I can help you out. Otherwise, let's take a look at some live client results because I'm not a big fan of throwing around advice without showing you that it actually works. So the first client that we have here is A. Newman and Associates. They're an M&A firm that helps business owners in the 2 to 50 mil a year range with valuation and the selling process. They went from having a fairly shaky pipeline to booking 31 calls in the first 30 days of working with us. And as you can see, over 91 positive replies generated up there. Next, we have Relay Partners, an exit consultant that specializes in preparing e-commerce brands for sale. They came to us after working with an outbound agency providing zero results, and after just 30 days of launch, landed 42 sales calls, ultimately leading to us having to extremely tighten qualifications, which in my mind is a really good problem to have. And then lastly, there was Stroud Inc., a growth consulting firm who was able to book 24 sales calls and close 3 high-ticket deals in the first month of leveraging our system. Obviously, it's one thing to book a bunch of meetings, but it's another to return a fairly significant ROI in just a short period of time after starting. Now, obviously, these results are great, but if you don't know how to recreate this for your own offer, you're going to be left with zero replies. Because after all, this only works when your messaging is extremely relevant. So this is where most people go wrong. They'll either add too much to the script and they'll end up deleting the lines that actually make it work. So I'll show you exactly what you can modify without breaking what works. Let's start with a cybersecurity example. So this goes something along the lines of, Meg, if we could provide you with a free vulnerability scan of all of your open source projects to ensure safety and compliance. Would that be worth sharing more? PS, we just ran the scan for another software company and found 27 vulnerabilities, which could have led to over 126K in lost revenue. Again, the reason why this works: first name, straight to the point. Again, value, what's in it for them? The free vulnerability scan that most people would probably pay for. And then, would that be worth sharing more? So soft CTA, you're not asking to jump on a call right away. If they need more information, they need more information. We're going to follow their kind of like selling journey. We don't want to force them into taking action right away. And then the PS line. So this is super relevant. We were reaching out to software companies, and then we show the kind of like the pain that would come from inaction. So if there's vulnerabilities, they could potentially be losing 126K in revenue, which again forces them to say yes. Next, I have an employee benefits example here. So again, straight to the point, Dylan, if we could guarantee 20% in savings off of your current employee benefits plan, would that be worth sharing more? PS, we just accomplished this for another local roofing company in Dallas, saving them over 30K per year without losing out on any of the benefits. The reason why this one works so well is because the first thing people think when you offer a guaranteed 20% in savings is, what am I losing out on? Like, what is that savings going to amount to? And by saying without losing any of their benefits, they know that they're going to be saving this money without actually losing any of the benefits on the back end. So again, it just makes it an easy yes, straight to the point, leverages that PS line, really strong, relevant social proof. And then lastly, I have a high value lending example, and this goes very similar. Alan, if we could help you close a 5 to 10 mil flexible loan in 30 days to help reduce monthly payments, or with large acquisitions, would it be worth sharing more? PS, we just accomplished this for another business in the real estate space, securing over $7 million in funding without any of the absurd interest rates. Again, reason why this is a super good script. 5 to 10 million in funding is something that most businesses would want. Getting it in 30 days is super fast. They don't have to deal with any of the headaches of like taking, 60, 90, even more days in time. There's a few applications. So if they weren't already thinking about getting funding, this kind of makes it relevant. If they want to reduce their monthly payments or like have some sort of large acquisitions, it ends up helping them there. And then when we jump into the PS line, again, super relevant. We're reaching out to companies in the real estate space, the exact amount of funding, and then without the absurd interest rates. The first thing that's going through their mind when they hear they're going to get 5 to 10 million funding in only 30 days, like, what's the catch? Why are you providing all this money for me? So as soon as they see without any absurd interest rates, that's when they know that that's not something that they're going to have to deal with, which again makes it an easy yes. And that is exactly how you write simple but effective cold outreach scripts. Now, obviously, you need to make sure you nail down every other part of the process if you want to book calls. You need to nail your targeting, you need to nail deliverability, and you need to nail inbox management. And all of that needs to be on point if you want to consistently book meetings with cold email. However, as a business owner, there's obviously higher leverage ways to spend your time instead of scraping leads and maintaining deliverability. So if you want to generate deal flow from cold email on a done for you basis, book a call using the first link of the description, and I'll see you there.